Today I'm going to be talking about a fountain pen which gets very little press. It's called the Pilot Pig. You can pick this up from eBay as well as Etsy for about $20 US. So just looking at the pen itself, it has a very nice finial which is in metal, goldish metal, and it has a clip which I've never seen on any other Pilot pen, right? So it's like a kind of like a spear-shaped clip. It is relatively springy, like it's spring-loaded in some way. On the other side of the pen, at the end of the barrel, it's just a little notch, a little indentation down here. And the other interesting bit about this pen is, not sure whether it's picked up on the camera, but there's actually a hole kind of in the barrel, which kind of, I suspect is to kind of make it not eyedroppable. So looking at the clip itself, it has a silver band down here. There's also another silver ring up here. And within the cap, you can actually see there are like a retaining, kind of springs down there, right? For lack of a better word, which contributes to this little snap when you close the pen, right? So it's a snap cap in a way. Moving on to the nib, I'm going to put the cap down. It is a fairly decently large nib. I'm not sure whether it's coming through on the camera. It says Pilot made in Korea, super quality. And this particular pen that I have is in extra fine. Right? On the other side of the kind of the feed, there's actually a little hole down there, probably the ink filling hole, and that's pretty much it. The area where the nib kind of joins the section area is flush, right? So it's very flush. It's very well made. So barrel wise, it's very light, and the threads are plastic inside. And this is the other interesting part about this pen. It uses this press method of filling the pen. So basically this is a very old school type of filling mechanism. You can actually kind of pull out, or rather screw. It's actually a screw out mechanism. As you can see, there's quite a bit of ink down here. I'm not too sure whether or not you can replace this with a Con 40 or one of those cartridges. I haven't tried. And it has metal threads down here for you to kind of screw this part in. When I was filling up, it's pretty easy to fill up. Basically, you just dunk this into a bottle of ink, press once to kind of create a vacuum, and then when you release, some ink will be sucked up into this rubber, or like a rubber feeling sack down here. So not much else about this pen. So it's very comfortable, it's very light, kind of short in my, kind of what I think it's kind of short. You can post it, obviously, and it posts very securely, and then becomes a very well balanced, albeit slightly light pen. Comparing it with the pen which most people would kind of think this pen is meant to replace, which is in my case, is the Cocoon. I guess the Metropolitan is about the same pen as the Cocoon. The Cocoon is slightly longer, as you can see. It's made of an alloy of some sort, so it's definitely heavier. It also has this snap cap. And just looking at the two pens uncapped, the definitely you get a thicker section, kind of a broader section down here. The cocoon has a very thin section area. So for me, probably this will be more comfortable to use. And you can see the size of the nibs. So the cocoon is actually a fine, this is actually an extra fine, and we'll kind of compare that in the writing sample later on, right? So talking about writing samples, I have a notepad down here. And just gonna draw a line. So this is the Pilot Pig in extra fine. So it took a little bit of time to kind of get started, but otherwise it writes pretty well. And what I have loaded in it is just a black ink, which I'll put the name of the ink later on. So it's not super smooth, however, it's a typical Pilot pen feeling, right? It's not unpleasant, and it's hard, right? It's slightly bouncy, but it's not it's not springy in any way. But it works fairly well nib wise. In terms of comfort, as I mentioned earlier on, I mean, it is very comfortable to use, right? And you can pretty much write with this the whole day. Comparing this to the Cocoon, aka the Metropolitan, I'm just gonna post this one. It's kind of hard to post this because of this area is not super tight. So this is the Pilot, and this is in fine, and I believe this is in Safari ink by Diamine. So this one it definitely feels probably as thin as the extra fine from the Pilot Pig, right? So I mean, it even feels finer in a way, right? So this is probably like a fine, and this is probably, in my estimation, this feels like an extra fine, right? However, this pen, the Cocoon, like I mentioned in my earlier quick look, it's actually it's not too bad. It's just that the section here is kind of thin. For the Pig, I believe it's just nice for me, right? What I'll do is that I will test out the filling mechanism to kind of double check whether or not this can actually accommodate other Pilot converters, and I'll put in the description below my findings. So in conclusion, what I think about this pen, for $20 US, I'm not too sure whether this represents tremendous value. I think it's fine. I mean, it's not super expensive. Would I buy this pen again, knowing what I know? Probably not, right? I think there are other better choices for pens that Pilot makes in this price range. But I think it's a nice pen, and I kind of don't regret buying it. It's just an interesting pen that you might want to try if you're in the market for like a black pen around this price range. So that kind of concludes my quick look of this pen, which is the Pilot Pig. Hope you liked the video. Let me know your thoughts, and please comment, and I'll see you in my next review. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.